Look around. Feel that tightness in your chest? That ache deep inside where ambition should burn bright, where dreams should live loud? It's not just you. It's the crushing weight of a world built on greed, and that weight is breaking so many of us every single day. You push and push, pouring your heart into something you believe can change the game, and yet the system feels like a trap. It seduces with promises of freedom and rewards, but delivers chains wrapped in zeros on a spreadsheet, in empty handshakes, in souls sold for profit. The brutal truth is, greed isn't just a business model anymore. It's the entire foundation of how we measure success today. But what if that foundation is cracked, rotten deep down? What if that model is finished, dead, gone? The problem isn't just about money. It's not just about CEOs or shareholders or institutional investors calling the shots. It's about a mindset so deeply rooted, it's like a disease poisoning everything it touches. That hunger for more profit, more power, more control, has blinded us to the cost. In the rush to get ahead, we've sacrificed connection, humanity, meaning. We've built empires on the backs of exploitation, ignoring the cries of those left behind, burying the pain beneath fancy PR, hashtags, and empty corporate slogans. Founders watching their visions twist into puppets of greed, investors chasing the next quick buck at the expense of real impact, professionals stuck in toxic systems that demand they choose between their soul and their paycheck. This is the everyday story. And it's a story ending in burnout, in broken communities, in a world that doesn't work anymore. Not for people, not for the planet, not for the future. But here's the hard truth that no one will sell you in a slick keynote or a glossy annual report. The end of greed as a business model won't come from begging the system to change. It won't come from tweaking the edges, changing a few policies, or slapping on a purpose label to a corporation drowning in contradictions. Real change, that seismic shift, starts in the cracks, at the edges where the uncomfortable, the radical, the misfits and visionaries burn with fire. It starts with those who refuse to settle, who tear up the old rulebooks and demand more than just survival or status quo. It starts with those who dare to believe that business can be a force for genuine good, that impact can be profitable and profitable can be kind, that wealth can spread and uplift rather than hoard and destroy. For founders, this is a call to arms. Not the kind that fights with guns or protests in streets, but the quiet revolution in labs, in small teams, in social enterprises daring to build new economies from the ground up. You who feel the hunger for something real, something that feeds the world and nurtures people, who see profit not as the finish line, but as a tool to unlock potential. You have the toughest role, because you build not just companies but movements, cultures, purpose beyond the bottom line. Yet you're not alone. In the shadows, others are waiting. Investors redefining risk and return, who measure success in lives touched, not just dollars gained. Professionals breaking out of old systems to craft new paths where ethics and innovation walk hand in hand. Leaders fueled not by ego or greed, but by the fierce, stubborn hope that another way is possible. Listen close. This is not optimism dressed up as buzzwords. This is the tectonic shift shaking everything underneath us. Greed's reign is ending not because it's moral to do so, but because it's no longer sustainable. The planet is screaming. People are waking up. Markets snap and crash from relentless extraction without renewal. If your business still looks like a machine designed to squeeze every last drop with zero thought for tomorrow, you're building on sand, and your fortress will fall. Now imagine what happens when that old model crumbles. Imagine entrepreneurs and investors who stop competing against one another and start connecting. Fiercely, deliberately, with brutal honesty about what really works and what doesn't. Imagine ecosystems built on synergy, not scarcity, where rare talents don't clash in isolation, but find each other, fueling each other's fire so the sum is greater than the parts. Imagine networks where diversity isn't just tolerated, but celebrated as the source of true strength. Imagine capital flowing not merely for growth, but for regeneration, for healing, for building durable futures. Social enterprises are the heartbeat of that vision, the living proof that business can be transformed into a tool for liberation, a weapon to fight back against the ghost of greed. But this isn't easy. It's the hardest road, because the world will fight you. Institutions entrenched in old power will mock you, bully you, try to drown you in noise and distraction. You'll hear the whispers. You're idealistic. You don't understand how business works. No one is willing to pay for values, only profits. Let those whispers fuel your fire, because they are proof you're striking at the core. Remember, progress never came from comfort zones or safe bets. It is forged by those who burn with a restless hunger for truth and refuse to accept the status quo. If you feel that burning today, hold on tight. It is the fuel for a new dawn. You can't do this alone. The power of the social enterprise movement lies in connection, not just friendship or network, but in creating infrastructure for the exceptional, the rare, the misunderstood to find one another and create unstoppable forces. When founders, investors, professionals, and leaders align their wills, values, and visions, they rewrite the rules of engagement. They build ecosystems that don't just survive crises, but thrive on transformation. This is no longer about chasing capital or prestige. It is about building shared power to reclaim what business was always meant to be, a force to amplify human potential, not to crush it. So, what does it take to break free from the cycle? First, radical sovereignty. Own your will, not as a buzzword but as a daily practice. Decide what you will not tolerate, what you simply refuse to bow to. Be ruthless with the forces that drain your soul. Next, question everything. No assumption is sacred. Challenge what feels uncomfortable, what everyone else shrugs off. Your dangerous ideas, your humility to learn and unlearn, are the sharpest tools you have. Then, transform. Do not adapt to old systems, reshape realities. Build new models that honor contrast, celebrate difference, and weave together strengths rather than conform to weakness. Be selective. Find those few others burning with the same kind of fire, and build alliances that redefine power itself. And remember patience. Ruptures don't happen overnight. The greatest changes come with time because eternity favors the long game. The world will offer you comfort to keep you quiet. It will smile and promise freedom while shackling your passions under layers of convenience and conformity. But liberation isn't easier. It is harder, messier, fiercer. You are here not to live a borrowed life or follow a map made for someone else. You are here to claim territory that has never existed, a space where the radical becomes reality and the impossible begins. There is no middle ground. You either burn or you bend. This is the front line of a war not fought with violence, but with vision. If you're watching, if your heart is beating faster, if your mind is ignited with the possibility of a world where social enterprises aren't just exceptions, but the foundation of a new economy, then you are not alone, and you are not late. You are exactly where the revolution begins. This is your moment to connect, to create, to change everything. Greed's business model is dying, and from its ashes rises the power of the free individual united with others who dare. This is the end of an era and the birth of a new way to do business, to lead, to live. No more waiting, no more compromise. The chains are cracking. The fire is spreading. Will you let it consume you and carry you forward? Or will you watch from the sidelines as the old world finally collapses under its own weight? The choice is yours, and there is no turning back.